NFL draft trades are how teams move around when they can't get the pick that they want. Could the Chiefs have to trade back? And just how freaky would that be here on Friday on Locked On Chiefs?
From the land of the free and the home of the Chiefs, this is the Locked On Chiefs podcast.
Welcome back, friends and neighbors. It's Freaky Friday here on Locked On Chiefs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. We hope that you will like, sub, and hit the bell here on YouTube. Join us on Spotify. Join us on Apple Podcasts. And get yourself subscribed so you can be an everydayer just like our locos are. We appreciate you guys, and we know that you listen every day. That's why when we have to extend something like this on a Freaky Friday, I had to have a medical procedure here, so we're a little bit delayed on Friday. But we're still going to get strange with it because
I've been a little busy too. Just going to say.
Well, yeah, you're working. Yeah. You're at least getting something fruitful done. I like that. So we're going to take the opposite, the thing that nobody wants to talk about. We're going to talk about what it looks like for the Chiefs if they can't get a trade-up partner to go get a prospect that they really love and that Chiefs Kingdom wants, and they're sitting at 32 again. If they get offers to trade back, what can the Chiefs do? What does that look like? In this particular draft, I think there's a lot of folks that are going to agree it's a viable option. We're going to go through its parameters here in just a minute. We're brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, you new users are getting $150 back on any bet, guaranteed, win or lose. That's $150 back, no matter what, at FanDuel.com/lockedon. Now, if you want a little bit more information, breaking news, everything that's going to go on with the draft, when we have little hints, it's going to be 816-357-8781 on our text line. Get connected over there as well. That all said, how far makes sense in this class? What would it look like? And just how strange is it going to be? It's going to be, I think, stranger than most scenarios because it's going to take somebody that they don't usually work with is my thought. If you want more, you can get all Chris's breakdown on the Mike Dana story, the numbers that came out there, all the cap, all the quarterback over at Chiefs Corner. Make sure you get there. And then the draft guide is out at rogueapc.com. We'll probably throw some of that up next week so you guys can get a look at it. Go over there at rogueapc.com and use the code LOC. You're going to get a nice discount on the draft guide and the athletic matrix. And we'll have some follow-up there on NFL 33 as well as RGR football. This said, moving back is always tenuous, but in this particular class, with the depth of the wide receiver class, yes, a bunch of them are going to go in the first. But the Chiefs are going to have good options in the second. Now, 64 might be troublesome, but if they're going to move back, they can still get a pretty good talent there. Tackles are a little bit thinner, in my opinion, but you get into the defensive prospects as well. That in the second, we haven't really had a chance to talk much about because those picks 33 through, say, 55 or 60 are not something we've looked at a whole lot at for the Kansas City Chiefs. So how do we want to start this? Are we fishing for a trade back, or are we waiting to see who comes to us?
I think we're going to wait to see who comes to us. So we're going to start, and I'll run it to about, I think, let's say around 20. And we'll stop there, and there you go.
Okay.
We still don't have any trades, so I guess we will continue and let this go at this point. Let's just get to 32. Now we have some trade scenarios available.
Okay.
Adonai Mitchell is still available.
Exactly.
That's interesting. So
I want to see who the quarterbacks are that are available.
Okay. I was curious as to who's already gone. All right, so you want to see who the quarterbacks are?
Because I think that's probably the most likely target that someone's coming here for.
Penix is still there.
Penix, Bo, Nix, who I think are neck and neck, and on my board that's going to come out next week, folks, you're going to see exactly where I have them stacked. And I think Spencer Rattler is higher on some fans' board than he is teams' boards, but certainly here at 70, he could be on a couple of teams' boards that are easily above 64. So that would be viable as well. Who wants to come up? Pittsburgh? Yes, they have a what would you call their quarterback room? Transitory? I don't know what to
that's probably a good way to put it.
I don't know. Moving back to 51 doesn't interest me that much. That is a long, long, long way to go.
Yeah, but I think that's as far. I mean, that's the Yeah, those are the picks that.
What are the other offers?
Well, we don't have any offers. Pittsburgh just says they're available at 51. So 51 to go to 32.
If you drop down that trade with team, it'll give you a couple of options. It says we have 3 offers.
Right. So 51, 61, and 76. Those are the teams that are that are interested.
Gotcha. Okay. 51. If I'm going to move back 20 spots, I have to have 84.
Says it'll be accepted.
Now, we're just talking the one pick from the Chiefs, right?
Yep.
Okay. So that's where I would start to push. I'd be like, this is going to be tough. You might have to give me 98 too.
It's 59.
And I'll give you back, say, 173. But if I'm more comfortable. If you can do 221, I'm totally with you.
We can try it. 63% chance versus a 77% chance. So we can try it at 221. So let's see what they say.
It's a bit overwhelming in our favor.
Wow.
At this point. Yeah. Hey,
I'll take it.
Exactly. We will take it. You know what? Why don't we do this? We'll go through and we'll grab these selections and we'll see what we get. We can go back. We can do another trade scenario and just start over here in the coming segment. Let's get to it. See what happens if we get on the clock, resume the draft, and we'll see where we get to and what that does for our selection possibilities.
Jalen Polk went right before us.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And it's funny. There's only one man in America who loves Jalen Polk more than me, and his name is Nate Tice. And the more that Nate and I talk about it, the more that I think people are coming around to it out here in the public. I think the teams have been there for quite a while, to tell you the truth. So that leaves us. I did see X. Let's look at the positions of need that we have.
So wide receiver and offensive tackle. Burton and Keon Coleman and Xavier Legette and Jalen McMillan.
We're 13 picks apart. I think the interesting part, scroll just a little bit more. Where do we get to the Patrick Paul? Okay, so we have a lot of wide receiver options. Paul's down there by where we originally thought we might be picking. So
right.
I would say go back up top and decide who you want at wide receiver, and we'll make a double pick here, I think.
Or you can go back to 56.
Okay, if I can pick up 87, I would consider that.
No.
Okay. That doesn't do me much good. What's their next pick? 119, was it? No, 174. So they don't have anything to offer me that I'm interested in. See you, Cowboys.
I'm just curious. Okay. All right. So don't want to do that. Going back, we'll look at one more at the Texans just to see. 51 to 59. They give 123.
Yeah, that doesn't help me.
Moving 8 picks for that. Well, I mean, you could use 123 to trade up, but
yeah. See what 86 and we give up another pick later on does for us.
It'd have to be maybe 159.
I could live with that. All right, so we have moved twice now, folks, and we're compressing the picks. We're seeing what the Chiefs might be able to get. When we get back, we're going to actually make these selections and get into what a draft could look like if the Chiefs are forced to move around in the direction that they're not necessarily looking for, but might be the reality.
Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 120 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit. Only available to U.S. customers.
I am a fit that's only available to U.S. customers, but you, worldwide citizens, have availability of Locked On Sports today. 24/7 feed. No matter what time zone you're in, you're going to have content from us on the Locked On Podcast Network. Check that out here on YouTube or on Amazon Fire. So we did move back yet again, correct?
Yep, we did.
And our tackle prospects have gone up in smoke. Did Kieran go off the board just after?
Yep, Kieran's gone there.
Okay. So now we are looking again, trying to get to Patrick Paul, but look at what we have stacked up here. This is where we can take our time. 59, 64, 84, 86, 95, and 98. We have changed. Go ahead. We have 6 picks in the top 100 still. What we gave up in star power, in walk-in and start power, we have made up for in guys that might have to sit a season, but we can project as starters. Guys that, if there's an injury, could play and shore up a three-peat run right now. 6 guys in the top 100.
Yeah, and I will say this. This is one of the scenarios where this seems kind of freaky, and maybe the Chiefs wouldn't want to do something like this. Yep. But I would also argue that maybe this is exactly what they would want to do in a draft like this, as deep as it is, if somebody's not there that they really like at those picks, because you're getting, like you said, 6 players in the top 100, and you're setting yourself up to have 6 of those guys available, if not this year to really help, maybe next year. We'll have to see how that turns out when we get through the draft. But you're in a situation where you're going to have lower round picks that are going to cost you less money that you're going to have for 4 years. I mean, it works in their favor.
Yeah, it's building the foundation. I like the way that this is. Now, is this the best scenario for the Chiefs? No, they probably want to take some higher talent. They'd like to be able to make a selection that they can live with, they can be happy with at 32. But if it doesn't work out, this is where we're at. So let's start taking and filling some gaps.
I'm just curious. Okay. I just was curious who's still there, who's still wanting there. 87, which would slot in right there, but I don't want to go back that far.
Yeah. Best player on the board is not necessarily the best player that's going to show here, but let's take a look. Nealon has links to Kansas City. They have spoken to him. I know that they want another edge rusher. That's a possibility. Chris Jenkins inside. I think this is a little overblown, 60 rank for him. I do think he could be like an 80 or a 90s pick. We'll see what happens there. Edgerrin Cooper is probably the most explosive linebacker on this draft class. I don't think that they have to go out and replace Willie Gay, but if they wanted to, he would probably be the guy that you're looking at. He is a chase and run down outside linebacker. Jalen McMillan is top of this group for me, because I do think they need to get tier 3 wide receiver talent, and he is at the bottom of that tier 3 for me. I don't know how you feel.
No, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I was curious. I was looking at maybe Christian Haynes, just because I do know that they're going to need interior, but it's possible that he will still be around at 64. So let's go ahead and go. Now, I'm curious. You don't like Sanders?
Sanders, unfortunately, does the one thing for me that I can't abide. He is not a good athletic matrix guy. He shows up on film and he does make plays, and I do like him. 59, I can't do it. If we get down to the 95, 98 pick, I could swing that. But I'm just not there yet.
Okay, so let's take Jalen McMillan, and we will see where we get to at 64.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Sanders is already gone.
Okay. Kyrie Jackson did go.
Yep. Nealon's gone, and Jenkins is gone.
Okay.
And just because I'm curious, trade backs would be 70 and 87. So the Cowboys still really want to trade up, but not interested right now.
Yeah, I would not be either. Let's take a look at the field here, though. So we cross off one wide receiver. What else are we looking for? We're looking for offensive tackle help. We know Patrick Paul is probably sitting out there in this draft scenario. In all honesty, I think here, basically back at where we were originally in our second round pick, we would be looking at possibly having to grab him now, because I do think as the tackles get pulled up, if Guyton's going to go, if Barton's going to go, who I think is probably going to be an interior guy, I do think Patrick Paul will be pulled up higher than this third round pick. But you still have your guy Haynes out there.
Barton went 23.
Okay. You still have your guy Haynes. I like that. I like Braylon Trice. He has led the NCAA in pressure production the last 2 seasons running. He is a power guy, not an edge bender. Honestly, very much George Karlaftis. We know the Chiefs like those guys. So definitely is an option there. Devondre Sweat still here. Another guy that at least certain Chiefs like and is falling down boards.
And I was going to say, you have to figure he's going to probably fall. I don't think he gets picked probably in the first 2 rounds after his deal that he just had. I could be wrong on that, but we'll see.
I agree. Who else? Keep on going. Blake Fisher, tackle option.
Didn't they just have Austin Booker in?
They did
for 30
for the local pro day. Yep. Was it a 30 visit as well? I thought it was a local pro day, but that's fine. Johnny Wilson, that interesting like tight end conversion candidate who obviously plays wide receiver in college. Corley's a little yak master. I worry about Corley in this offense only because it's already fairly on the small end for the most part. She Rice's ongoing struggles may leave him without availability for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I do think you need some physical bodies in there as well. I would not categorize Corley in that group myself. You're looking at more trade backs?
I'm just curious because I know what your fear is. So I'm wondering if we could do
that. There won't be a fullback at 117.
No, I'm wondering if we can get up to like 75 and maybe get Patrick Paul there as opposed to having to take him here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay taking him here. If not, we could probably pass this pick. Next pick, I think we should definitely look at that.
Okay, well, doesn't look like you'd be able to get that done. So let's go ahead and draft a player. Which direction do you want to go? Do you want to go Patrick Paul now, or do you want to go somewhere else?
I'm just taking a look here.
I mean, Patrick Paul's down in the 90s here.
Right. And this is the foresight of having this here. So let's go back up the top and take one of the top rated guys. Let's take your guy Haynes.
Okay.
Cross him off the list. And when we get back, we're going to finish up this scenario and go through the rest of the Chiefs picks because there are several of them. But we'll be doing that here on the Locked On Podcast Network. We are back, folks. This is the scenario no one wanted. We are in Trade Back Freaky Friday. Welcome. If you haven't seen the rest of the show and you're joining us live, make sure you like, sub, and hit the bell. And check out the Locked On Sports Today feed. It's 24/7. We have made 2 selections in a trade back scenario. We have gotten an offensive line talent in Christian Haynes. Well, I was very impressed with Senior Bowl, and I do think that he'll be able to round and shape and help the interior. He's not one of those 5-position versatility guys, though. He's not going to end up playing tackle for you. So you're still looking in this scenario at a Donovan Smith signing, most likely, or some kind of developmental pick. You have the guy right in front of you that I would say would be my developmental pick. Rockjaw Jayhawk, Dominic Pooney, because he does have
with what you're wearing.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's not very subtle today. It is what it is. And I do think that probably, maybe not this pick, but one of the next 2, we're going to have to look at that, in my opinion. I did not see who was up at the top of your list, though. We are on the clock here at 84, folks. We have 86, 95, and 98 to get through in quick succession to kind of stock and restock this particular position group. I do want Pooney. Eric, all people are starting to come around on him. He gets a bump up for being an Iowa tight end. That does go a long way. Gonkhouse has really made some progress. It may be Calves, I believe, Goncalves. He's been making some noise as of late as a tackle prospect. I think we could come back and grab him if Paul is not available. Did Paul go?
Yes, Paul went.
Okay. So he's going to be my next target there for, in particular, out at the offensive tackle spot. And just match-wise, I like the concept of Wilson. I like the concept of Rice. Pedigree of Rice, obviously. I like Derek Pooney here. Dominic Pooney, sorry. Derek is somebody else's brother. I know it's intriguing, right? Jerry Rice on the sidelines at Kansas City. It's interesting. I don't want to misconstrue anybody, though. Brendan Rice is not his dad at this point. So
Yeah, but his dad wasn't his dad when he came out of the draft either.
And that's a fair point.
I'm not trying to say he's going to be his dad, but I'm going to kind of veto your thought process because I know you really like Johnny Wilson, but I'm going to go Brendan Rice.
Okay. So doubled up here at wide receiver, and now we're back on the clock. And thanks to the Dolphins, doing Dolphins things, they didn't get to take a selection in between. So we're still in position for the offensive lineman. Tight end is not a priority here. And I think we do have to look. Yes, we got an interior player, but we have to look at the tackle talent here. Pony would be one. There are going to be a couple other guys. I don't think interior is where we go. Goncalves, I'm trying to say that correctly. I'm not sure if I'm doing it any justice. But
it is what it is.
He's got size. He's another guy that I think the Chiefs would like as a dev type pick. Not somebody you're going to slate in to start, but as you see, he gets very, very thin very, very quickly after that. So I would probably go to take the pit tackle now as a designated tackle, or take the KU tackle. That's great. I'm not going to.
I thought that's what you were talking about. I apologize.
No.
Were you talking about Goncalves?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Did he go in between?
No, he did not.
Okay. So, I mean, if we're really talking about doubling down, we could look at him here, although Puni will be that interior, exterior transition guy. We want to look at value at this point. We have double dipped at wide receiver. We have double dipped at offensive line. Now it's a free for all. We have 2 top 100 picks for anything. That can be Michael Hall is a smaller pass rusher that can play inside. In some ways, does remind me of Mike Dana, who did just return. Dwayne Carter will eat up some space. Who else? Cade Stover is not a tight end that would be on our list. I don't think the Chiefs will have interest in him. I haven't seen enough of Eric Alda to feel really good about him recovering and being ready. Leonard Taylor is down here. I'm a little bit surprised by that. We just put out a video on Greg Sennett joining the Chiefs for a 30 visit. That's a connection that's very easy to make. You get into LSU defensive linemen, you're going to have a couple of them down here, I'm guessing. Guys that can bolster that line. There you go. Wingo and Smith. All options here. I didn't see much available at DB that we'd be really interested in. Did I miss something?
I didn't have DB up there.
Okay. I take all the filters off and let's just look at the ranks here.
Oh, okay.
Because this is also where I think we're going to get close. If we're compressing like this and we're at 6, if there's like a Jamal Charles type running back out there, I would consider it given what we've been able to do with our picks. He comes from Tennessee, that kid. That's the one kid that I'm thinking of, but I'm guessing he went in between one of our last picks. I'm just not sure.
Who are you looking for? Running back wise?
Yeah, right. From Tennessee. Trey Benson's there, though. And I mean, can't really argue with that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Wright's available.
Yeah, he must have gone. Yep.
Yeah, he went to 80.
Oh, of course, to the Bengals, just like we know happens. Okay, so my gut says that we double down on the trenches and we look at the defensive line and the edges. We come back at running back and corner here later. What's your thought?
I'm good with that. So Michael Hall, Dwayne Carter, Xavier Thomas. Any of those?
Fit-wise, I mean, Hall certainly made some noise at the Senior Bowl. He's able to do a couple of things that I know the Chiefs like. Is he as sizable as they seem to want? No. But there are other guys that we can fortify that with. We do have 131 and 173 as well. I could live with that. I think I like Wingo a little bit better myself.
Well, he's not slated to go for quite a while.
Exactly. So we could come back at 131. So I'm fine with Hall if you want to grab him.
I'm leaving this up to you. You're the one that's got the defensive chops. Well,
then let's just do that. Let's make a strength stronger. attack from the outside. Let's throw him on here and see what he can do.
Michael Hall.
Yeah, he, Charles, and Mike Dana might be an interesting rotation. Just the three of them.
Okay, so now we have pick 98.
Sione Vach, he's going to be listed as a safety, but I do think he is a running back, I have to tell you. I do like Marshawn Lloyd. I just saw him at the bottom here, another running back. Man, we double dipped already, but I like Jacob Cowing in this offense.
Yeah, well, I knew you were going to go there.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. He is this year. He is my Khalil Shakir. I was really high on Khalil when he came out, and it took him a bit, but he's maturing into a player that can really contribute at this point. And then there's the tackle prospect who's still out there. Whew. Okay, I'm gonna leave this one up to you, or I'm gonna get carried away.
No, get carried away. Let's hear it. This
Okay.
is Freaky Friday after all.
It is Freaky Friday, so why don't I break my rules? Let's take the tackle, and we'll come back with a running back in the next selection.
Wow. Okay, so we're going to double dip at tackle and wide receiver.
Yep, and we have the interior guy in Haynes. There's no lack of protectors for Patrick Mahomes, and when it all comes said and done, if you're down to an AB position, protecting Mahomes is going to be my default as a good thing to get done.
Oh, I might have to override you.
Yep, do it. Yeah, I think we agree. I like Braylon Allen, by the way, just for the record, folks. But Sinnott, now that having had a 30 visit, I think you like that match, right? Well done.
Yeah. With everything else that's been done.
Now we wait. Drake Nugent, really, really feisty center that I do like. I just don't know.
Dude, if we drafted Drake Nugent, we basically have an entire
a whole new
line
line.
drafted
Yeah,
this
I know.
year.
And I would feel super, super good about the future. I like Dylan Johnson as a running back. He's not the explosive guy that we're looking for, but I do like him. I sounded like Obi-Wan right there. Just went tight end. I don't think there's room for any more tight ends on this roster right now. I do think Irv Smith is going to make this roster, and they're going to run 4. So Jordan Jefferson, the last of the interior LSU guys. Ryan Watts, great athlete, plays good special teams along with Tip as well. Again, I just don't think there's room for Tip, so Watts is the way that I would lean between those two right there. Dejon Anthony, Solomon Byrd, I'm not interested in. Jalen
The
Green.
one thing I will throw out is if Kansas City is in this position, even looking at where some of these players are ranked, I'm not going to be surprised if they maybe reach. Because if you're reaching at the bottom of the 5th round to go try to get somebody you think is going to be there in the 6th or 7th, you're not going to probably get them as an undrafted free agent. If you want the player, you go take him. So
yeah. If you have interest, make the most of it. You're here. Again, we got 6 guys in the top 100. We filled holes and then some. So you have a little bit more leeway in this scenario. Yeah, nothing's really standing out to me. I think Ryan's probably my guy at this selection.
I really almost want to do it.
I mean, you have a whole JV squad. Let's be real.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's go with Watts from Texas.
Okay.
He's going to give you some length, size, and speed. I think he's number 5.
You don't want to go interior?
No, we got Hall, and they seem to not be placing the emphasis that I am on it. So I'm trying not to overthink it. I think Watts is the type of guy that they're going to like, that they feel they can probably train up.
And let's see what we got.
In the end, we got 4 offensive linemen.
3.
Right now, 3. Okay. Right now, there's only 8 on the Chiefs roster. So it is by no means out of the realm of possibility that we could take 3 offensive line in this particular draft. It is
if they make trades.
Right.
That's the only way I see them doing that.
It is a scenario of throw numbers at it, right?
Yep.
So we did this by trading back out of 32, which is a viable possibility here, with the Steelers, and then another trade back, excuse me, with the Texans. Jalen McMillan steps right into at least the 4th wide receiver spot, in my opinion. Probably pushes to be one of the top 3 week 1. Christian Haynes will be battling in there in the interior. He might even be a guy that could step in for Joe Thuney in a pinch as a rook and not have to disrupt the entire offensive line and moving guys around. We'll see what happens there. He would definitely push to be able to be an interior replacement for just about anybody. Brandon Rice brings you size, legacy, and honestly, a pretty raw game at this point. A lot of training up there. That's my only qualm about that selection was that he's got to get coached up. And we're going to have a conversation about the staff at some offensive positions that were dragging last year. Dominic Cooney comes back as a 5-position offensive lineman. We get Hall on the inside, outside, much like Mike Dana's role. Matt Goncalves, I'm trying that one. We're going to go with it. And I should actually go and look up his name and how he actually pronounces it as another tackle spot. So we throw in volume at the offensive line. We come back with Greg Sinnott that I think everybody's pretty happy to see there at 131. That's great value. And finishing off with Ryan Watts, special teamer to start and a guy that can probably grow into a role with his athleticism. I'm happy.
It's going to be it for us today. That was a lot of fun. I really liked trading back because I do think it gives you an idea of what could possibly happen. Because I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to pick at 32 somebody that they really want.
That's fair. And, this is one Freaky Friday scenario. We're going to have Mock Draft Monday for you, too, where we're going to actually look at what is the selections, how can they move around and accomplish their goals, not just have to deal with the scenario that we just saw, but it's always a viable possibility, so we wanted to cover it. Thank you for spending your time. Make sure you like, sub, and hit the bell. Get subbed over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And anywhere else that you can get a free show, you can get us. We appreciate your time. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you.